Top down one ladies, my name is Chaz. Top down one ladies, my name is Chaz, and welcome to another. So, before I was trying to record this, but somehow it got like so many interruptions, so let's rerun it. So, now with that out of the way, now let's get right into the story of custom cards. So, there's going to be a little bit of a backstory to this story, or to these custom cards, and reason why. So, without further ado, let's start with the main plot points of the archetype. That is Vetra, the young witch of the dark glass eyes. She had 2 kids. One of them is Lara, and the other was yeah, that's the evil sister. So she is the evil sister to her. Just to clarify that up, because she was also the one who is responsible to making or turning their mother into a empress, then into dreaded that, into that. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, the reason why, and plus at the end of this video, this is going to be edited, but not like cutting pieces out of here, but I'm adding. So, yeah. Stuff. So, let's kick things off with the main monsters. So let's start with her, because she's the most important. And in this story, she's also has a lot of conflict with herself and her daughters. So she's basically, I'm gonna use the short version. So I know it sounds like I'm cussing, first of all, but no, I'm not. So, Vetra, the young witch of the dark glass eyes, she's a light, level 4 warrior, effect monster, and with 1,000 attack, 1,500 defense. Perfect target for Sangan, my little buddy. And her effect is that if she is normal summon or special summon, you can select 1 spell card from either player's decks to be activated without a cost. And she gains attack points of 3,000 till the end of the turn. Once per turn, you can tribute this card and also discard 1 tuner monster from your field, hand, or deck to the graveyard to synchro summon 1 monster. So from your extra deck to the field. It is treated as a synchro summoned conditions. So, like, basically, because in the story, she used a spell. Oh, to do something, and the mid spell, her evil daughter cast one on her. So, yeah. And that's why. Plus, if it does, then that synchro monster gains this following effect for once per turn. This card attacks your opponent's life points directly. So, yeah. Then we move on to the daughter of her. She's a light level 4 warrior tuner effect monster. If you control her, you could special summon this card from your hand. You can tribute this card and return. So, wait, hold on. Let me rephrase that. You could special summon this card from your hand, and you can tribute. You can also tribute this card. Sorry, the wording's messed up. Return one of your, her to the synchros into the bottom of the deck or extra deck. And then you add one of the spells or traps, cards from your hand, or you could add spells or traps to your hand. So, yeah. She's basically if she was used for a synchro summon, that monster cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. And, yeah. So then we got the evil twin sister of the dark glass eyes. Her effect is that when you control the monster that has the beginning part this on the field, she can be summoned, and you can select a card from either player's sides to be banished. So basically she's like, oh, you're trying to use something on your shield? Nope, let me banish that card. And if you do, then this card gains the effect. So then, yeah. So, until the end of the turn. Once per turn, if your opponent activates a card or monster effect or card effect, this card loses 1,000 attack, negate that effect or card effect, and then banish it to the banish zone, even if this card leaves the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard, synchro summon one of this. So, yeah. Then, so, she also gives the following effects of, this card cannot be targeted by monster effects, or for attacks, or by card effects. So now, with that out of the way, now let's move on to her forms. She has 2 synchros and 2 fusions. So, but before we get into it, let's go into her own spell card. Boss Battle of the Dark Glass Eyes. This card's very important to this archetype because you can banish this card before the duel starts from anywhere else to your banish zone, no matter whose turn it is. Neither player can instantly win the duel. All of these cards that have Vitra monster are treated as stages on the field. They are unaffected by monsters and card effects from your opponent's control on the field or hand. So basically what I mean is that each one of these is a boss. They're all similar bosses. So we got Vetra, Empress of the Dark Glass Eyes, or I like to call her Vetra Stage 1. And she basically is a level 8 monster. She is treated as a dark glass eye while on the field. Your opponent cannot activate card effects or cards or effects in response to this activation. Dark glass eyes, cards, or effects. And then once per turn, you can target one monster your opponent controls, change its attribute to the... Yeah, she has a minion that we'll get into quick. So, and then the effects of the targeted monster that gets its attribute changed to it. But if this face-up card is in the owner's control, leaves the field by a card effect, you can special summon one. So yeah. So you could special summon her, but if she was... Or synchro summon her, and if she gets destroyed by, like, say, Rekeki, or that doesn't target any cards, she could basically go into her number 2 form, stage 2. And there's a lot of card reading with these cards, so yeah. And she is treated as, must be, like, by the effects of this one. So, yeah. And then if this card is special summoned, you can search from your deck up to 2 dark glass eyes cards, monster spells or traps, and then add them to your hand. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. If this card destroys a monster by battle, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent's life points. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects from their hand or graveyard if this card destroys, or if this card is destroyed, you can special summon her back out. And then, yeah. She gets double attack. But there's a third, stage 3. The dreaded soul of the dark glass eyes is like contact fusion type effect, where it needs stage 1 and stage 2 to do it. And this is basically, it cannot be targeted by or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Your opponent cannot target other dark glass eyes monsters for attacks. Once per turn, you can. So this card can switch its effects. It gains the effects of other synchros. Sorry. So like basically if this card gains, let's say this card's Tyra effect, it only works until the end of the next turn. So yeah. And then we got its fourth and final form, where it needs stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 to be summoned. And she is treated as a light monster. And must be special summoned by shuffling above cards from your field or graveyard into the deck. You do not need polarization. Your opponent cannot target or attack other dark glass eyes, you control once per turn. Quick effect, you can negate the activation of your opponent card effects and banish it. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. If it destroys a monster, inflict 2,000 damage to your opponent's life points. Once per turn. Quick effect, you can target one. So basically, it's like this one. And then, so that's why. Because each form, it's like a boss battle. That's what this spell card represents. So the sisters, reason why this one summons her out, or transform their mother into the going through this stage of stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 is actually because she was bored. And so then the spell card Ultimate Seal of the Dark Glass Eyes is a spell card where it's continuous spell card where if this card is activated, you can select one monster from your deck to be banished to the banish zone. Inflict damage to your opponent's life points equal to that banished card or banished monster's attack points. Once per turn, you can shuffle one card from your graveyard into the deck. Both players gain 2,000 life points. And also, if this card is... sorry. If this card's effects are negated, or gets negated by your opponent's card effects, like monsters or... yeah. You can special summon the banished monster by this effect to your field. In attack mode. If it does, skip your opponent's next battle phase till the end of the turn. You can only activate each effects of Ultimate Seal of the Dark Glass Eye once per turn. So basically, where both sisters, her and her, were like, we messed up. And they combined their forces together and sealed the darkness that was in their mother away. Hey? Dun dun dun. But the darkness was not going down without a fight. And it basically, it made one final, thing. Darkness Curse of the Dark Glass Eyes. If you control one of these, your opponent must reveal his or her deck to you, and then you select one card or its name from your opponent's deck. That selected name, like card name, must be banished to the banish zone. If it does, inflict 500 damage to your opponent's life points for each banished card by this effect. And also, if this card is negated by monsters effects or by card effects, quick effect, you can shuffle this card into your deck instead of the graveyard. During your opponent's next turn, your opponent cannot activate any monsters effects or card effects until the end of the turn. So this grabs onto both sisters and fuse both of them to make Ulti, the entity of the Dark Glass Eyes. And her effects are basically the because both of them here. So hers and hers fuse together to make it. So plus it references it in the effect. Just ignore those. And plus, if this card is special summon, you can target 2 cards from your opponent's hand to be banished to the banish zone. This card gains those cards' combined effects till the end of your third turn. And you could read it. So, this card is unaffected by your opponent's card effects and and I'm saying card effects because it saves my throat. And once per turn, you can pay 1,000 life points to destroy all monsters your opponent controls. If you do, then you gain life points equal to the combined attack of the attack points of the destroyed monsters. And if it does, then this card cannot declare an attack until the end of the turn. After this effect, once per turn, if your opponent activates a card effect, this card loses 1,000 attack and defense. Negate those card effects and then banish them. Banish it to the banish zone. Even if this card leaves the field, this card cannot be tributed unless it's 0-4. So, yeah. The darkness was taking control of both sisters. And so their mother had to go into this big fight. Ultimate Battle of the Dark Glass Eyes, where, that you control the fusion monster or both fusion monsters, or one of those. Apply the following effects based on the monsters cannot be on the field. Monsters you control cannot tribute by your opponents. They cannot be used for materials like XYZ, Link, or Each time your opponent activates a card effect, banish one. They must banish one card from their hand or the top of their deck. Then you choose to apply the same effect as if you had activated it yourself. If this face-up card is destroyed or leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, your opponent must send all cards they control to the graveyard. And if they do, you special summon one monster from your graveyard or banish zone, ignoring its summoning conditions to your... So, So we got a lot of monsters. And don't worry. So, let's start with the monster that this card references. Dark Glass Eyes Chameleon. It's a light level 4 Sea Serpent Tuner effect monster. And its effects are basically attribute change type thing, where you can select one attribute and then this card earns attribute, becomes that selected attribute until the end of the turn, like your third turn. After this card was summoned, if you do, all monsters on the field or your opponent's hand, it's supposed to be a hand, that has the same attributes as this card earns selected attribute, and their effects are negated until the end of the third turn. And also, they cannot declare an attack. This card cannot be tributed unless it's for a Dark Glass Eye monster. So, yeah. There's its normal form, what we actually see it, but then its chameleon form, invisibility, where you could apply it to all of the Dark Glass Eye monsters to protect it against, like, cards. And then, yeah, so its singing effect is basically is a homage to, like, saving itself. Like a chameleon, how it survives. So we have now Dark Glass Eyes, Screaming Bear, where it's basically, it's a dark level 4 fiend effect monster where once it's summoned, you can shuffle a card from your graveyard into the deck and inflicting damage to your opponent's life points. And then once per turn's effect is that during your battle phase, you can pay 1,000 life points, destroy all cards from your opponent's field to the graveyard. If you do, then this card gains 1,000 attack for each. So, yeah. Then, we got this one that, fun fact, I have tried this against Clear World. And it did not do good against Clear World cards. And so, that's why this card has the effect of you are unaffected by the effects of Clear World. And then, yeah. So then, the skeleton of the Dark Glass Eyes is actually a XYZ spawner. Because reason is that you could use it to bring out a XYZ monster because it summons both copies of it. And you get some burn damage off of it too. Because its effects are just like you pay 1,000 life points, you're supposed to summon 2. I fixed it up. And then now I have used AI to basically do a practice duel against anime characters, and one of them was Taya, and I won against Taya. And yeah, she's a light fairy level 4 monster where once per turn, quick effect, you can target one dark glass eye monster you control till the end of the turn. That card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. And also, you take no battle damage involving that monster. Well, this card is... Okay, hold on. Well, you control another dark glass eye or the big boss monsters. Your opponent cannot target this card for an attack. If this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle 2 dark glass eye monsters from your graveyard into the deck, draw 1 card. You can only use each effects of this card once per turn. And there's another card, but I'll get back to you in about a couple minutes. So, yeah. So, see you in a couple minutes. Okay. Welcome back, and let's get this thing going. Sorry about that. So, yeah. We had... So, last time we led off with Taya, the Grantham Heart of the... Yeah. Now we got the princess herself, the Crystal Prima of the dark glass eyes. And she's a warrior light level 6 monster. And this card, or you can special summon this card from your hand by banishing 1 dark glass eye monster from your graveyard. Well, this card is, well, you control another, like basically the synchro monster, or one of these 5 cards, or this card cannot be targeted for an attack. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, change its battle position, and if you do, its attack and defense become 0 until the end of the turn. And if this card is used for the summoning of this, like any of these, you can add 1 of the cards, spells or traps, to your hand. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle this card. Shuffle 1 card from your graveyard or banish zone into your deck instead of this card. Your opponent takes battle damage instead. Yeah. So basically, yeah. These 2 cards are fan-made ones. Most of these are custom cards. But yeah. So I forgot to show this one. So this one's effects are basically the equivalent of how equipped spell cards usually should have. This card is equipped to your opponent's monster, and on the field, it gains 1,000 attack and defense for each battle phase. During the end phase, though, you can take control of that equipped monster to your field. If it does, then the equipped monsters is treated as a dark glass eyes monster on the field, even if this card leaves the field. So that means that it is a basically, once you take the monster, because normally some cards that have switch effects is that sometimes cards could go back to your opponent's like field. Zone. But yeah. And if your opponent tries to tribute that monster by like monster effects or card effects, while this card is in your graveyard, you can shuffle this card into the deck, negate that tribute, and then banish it to the banish zone. If you do, then banish players, or no, then both players must draw 3 cards from their decks to their hands. So, yeah. And there's this one where you can target one of these cards to special summon it. And if you do, it becomes a level 4 monster. The strategy is that you could make this one level 4. Or sorry. While that monster is face up on the field, it gains its following effects. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects, and also it cannot be banished. And if this card's effects or attacks and defense would be changed by the opponents, you can negate that effect, and if you do, restore this card's attack. So basically, it was supposed to be a that special summon monster. And yeah, so the House of the Dark Glass Eyes is a trap card where it's basically if your opponent activates your card effects, and you can shuffle one random card turn and into your deck. Because most cards in today's game will block you from seeing your deck or graveyard. So just put random would fix that problem. So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions in the comments of what this deck needs, because I'm thinking of dueling one of you guys in the community, or dueling you guys in the comments below. But I'm also gonna, if I see Florentine Yu-Gi-Oh, then I could then duel him. Just a normal duel, nothing too special. So, yeah. I hope that you guys enjoyed this story. Or I hope you guys enjoyed this crazy two-part, or actually, this is one part of the edit thing. And yeah. So, yeah. Put your comments below in the description of, or put your comments of the who will win between dark side and light side. Like, basically, the Vetra has dark half or the light half. You're the ones who decide her fate. Do you want the evil, dark creature to come out of nowhere to be winning the whole match? Or do you want the princess or the queen to win and save her children from the darkness? Yes. It's your choice. I'll even put up a poll of the darkness versus the light. But I hope you guys have a great day or night, depends on the time zones, and have a good night.